DreAllDay.com.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of wait for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unified philosophy that is called work on your game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is, we are at the finale of our mini-series on how to build relationships in business. Before we get into this, I remind you of two things. First of all, my daily motivation and Monday motivation messages, guaranteed to have you focus sharp and on point to start your day, your week, respectively. All you got to do to receive them is be a member of my texting community. It is free to join. So just text me at my number, 305-384-6894. Once we reactivate, start sending those messages again, you'll be getting them straight to your phone. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. You would like to have me as your direct coach. You like to be able to engage with me, ask me questions, share with me your challenges, and have me walk you through building your business, building your strategies, building your systems, building your game plans, getting your personal stuff in order, whatever it may be, whether you just need to step up your discipline, you want to be more confident, you want to be more mentally tough, you just want to be better overall at what you're doing, and you know that you're not squeezing everything out of your potential right now, and you would like some help making sure that you do, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. That link is below in the description to this episode, or you can just type it into your favorite browser. Again, it's workonyourgameuniversity.com. Getting into this topic again, we're picking up on point number 13, and our topic again today is how to build relationships in business. Number 13, adapt to communication styles. A solid communicator knows how to read the room of anyone they are talking to and make necessary adjustments. So reading the room doesn't necessarily mean you need to be in a room full of people. Reading the room might mean just talking to one person. So reading the room is a figure of speech. I talked about this in episode number 2512. Reading the room just might mean you're talking to one person and they communicate a certain way. You should adjust to them. They call it, I forgot what they call it. I'm forgetting the term of what it's called, but pacing and leading is the name of it. Pacing and leading is when you adjust your style to the style of the person you're talking to. And then once you get on the same wavelength with them, but then you can start leading them to get to your style. And it's something that happens unconsciously with most people, but if you're doing it on purpose, you can actually do this intentionally. But reading the room is the starting point of pacing and leading. So some people in the business world call this code switching. And I don't care what you call it. And some people will even call it pandering, depending on who's doing it and to whom they are talking. I don't care what title you give it. I'm just saying get good at it. Okay? Whatever you want to call it, make sure you get good at doing it, which is adjusting your communication style to the style of the people to whom you are speaking. And that might mean just the way you're talking. It might mean the way that you're listening. It may mean your tone. It might mean the volume of the way that you're talking. It may mean your pitch. All of these things may be part of the adjustment that you have to make. The whole point is make the adjustments as necessary, but you want to make the adjustments in such a way that is not obvious and it doesn't come off as pandering, because some people call this pandering. And depending on how and when you're doing it, it could be pandering. Even if you are pandering, just make sure it doesn't look like pandering. Okay, so if you want to look at yourself in the mirror later on and say, damn, I pandered to that person I was talking to, as long as they don't think you were pandering, then you're all right. Now, if they think you are, then you blew it. Okay, so that's the art of this. So there's a science to it, there's an art to it. The art to it is doing it without it being obvious that you're doing it. The same way with a salesperson. You want to be consistent in your follow-up without looking like you are desperate to make the sale, but you do need to follow up. So there's an art to doing that. And we have sales training programs inside of Work on Your Game University that will teach you exactly how that's done. So if I'm, for example, talking to an audience of corporate people who work in an office building and they wear business suits to work every day, I'm going to explain the concept of work on your game in a little bit different way than if I was talking to a bunch of 16-year-old kids from the hood who live in the projects and I'm giving a speech at a community center. I'm giving the exact same speech. I'm the exact same person and I'm drawing from the exact same material. However, I'm reading two different rooms and I'm speaking two different dialects of the same language, that language being English, to get my point across. Why? Because the corporate people would not quite get me. They would not absorb the message if I talk to them the way I talk to the kids from the hood, and vice versa. The kids from the hood would not quite absorb the message if I talk to them the same way that I talk to some people who work in the corporate world. even though they would both understand what I'm saying, they understand English, they would not absorb the message because the way it's coming across is not spoken in their dialect. You understand that? And this is an important communication skill. This is all about the adaptation you can make with your communication to get your point across to whom you need to talk. And there's nothing wrong with doing this. And as a matter of fact, I would suggest you get good at doing it. Some people have a very wide range of through which they do this. I don't consider my range, as far as when I say wide range, I mean people just completely change their whole approach and personality depending on who they're talking to and how they want to get their point across. I personally don't buy into that. I am still the same type of person, but I will use different languages. I'll use different tonalities. Maybe I'll throw some slang in at certain times, depending on who I'm talking to. And again, and depending on what point I'm trying to get across. And again, I got to read the room. I got to read the room. How are these people receiving how I'm going now? Maybe I should change it up. Maybe I should keep it going. It's all about reading the room and kind of thinking on your toes, so to speak. So I'm speaking English to both audiences. And even if I'm giving the exact same material, again, I'm going to code that material in different ways to match the understandings of my audience. So if you have a program on your computer and one program needs to be installed on a Mac computer and another one needs to be installed on a PC, you have to change the code for each device, even though the program is exactly the same. So again, this is reading the room. Strong communicators are very good at this. Understand how to adjust your language so that the audience actually receives it, and to adjust the way you listen so you can receive what someone else is sharing with you, because other people have different styles of communication than what you have. So they don't say the same things. If I could be walking, let's say, for example, I'm taking my son on a walk and I walk past some white guy from middle America who happens to be in South Florida. He has his kid with him. He'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" I'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" The other day, for example, I was at the park, not far from where I live, with my son, and we were walking into this park, and inside the park, there wasn't much activity. There was nobody playing in the park, except there were 3 people in there. There was this young black girl. She was maybe 10 years old, and she was sitting on a little scooter, or actually she was sitting on one of the sliding boards, not sliding. She was just sitting there doing nothing. And as me and my son are walking up, my son is only 2 years old, she was just staring at us. She didn't say anything. She didn't smile. She didn't do anything. She just stared at us as we walked up. And then there were 2 other guys. There was a guy in a wheelchair, and he was awake and alive, but he was just sitting there and he was vibing to some music. He had one of those speakers. I don't know where people get these from. A lot of people do this these days. They'll be out in public and they'll have their music playing on a loudspeaker so that everybody can hear it. I don't know why people do that. I don't like when people do it, but it wasn't bothering me. We're outside, so you can have any kind of noise outside. You can't control it. So he's sitting in a wheelchair and he has this music playing off a speaker. And then there's another guy, the third guy, is this tall black guy, and he has these gold fronts in his mouth. So as soon as he talked, you see all this gold in his mouth. And he was lighting up some weed. He had a joint or a blunt. He was lighting it using like the lighter that you use your hand, like the ones that people will have at home. Like we have this kind of lighter at home we use for candles. He had that lighter and he was lighting some weed. And mind you, they're standing in the playground where kids play, like where 4 and 5-year-old kids play. And as I walked up, the little girl didn't say anything. The guy in the wheelchair didn't say anything. But the tall guy standing up, who's lighting up the weed, we made eye contact. And he said, "Blessings, beloved." That's what he said. I said, "Hey, what's up?" And he said, "I'm gonna put the weed out for you. I see you coming over here with your kid." I said, "No, I appreciate it." We came over there. We played a little bit, and we left. And when I left, I nodded my head to him. He said, "What's up? What's up? What's up?" I left, and they just kept doing what they were doing. Now, why they're sitting in the middle of the playground doing this? And where I come from, people do that. But in this neighborhood where I live now, people don't do that. So it was not surprising to see him doing it, but it's a little peculiar because in the neighborhood where I was, where that happens, that's not that much. Like usually a cop will come around and tell them, "Get the hell out of here. What are you doing?" But for whatever reason, they were there at this particular point. I'm bringing all that up to say that 2 different situations, similar aged people, but 2 different styles of communication. And not everybody expresses the same idea in the same way. So your job is to decipher people's expressions, even if they are not very polished at making said expression. And this is your empathy. This is your listening skill, catching what someone's trying to say, even if they're not good at saying it. Point number 14. Today's topic again is how to build relationships in business. Number 14, provide referrals. Now I know a lot of entrepreneurs. I don't know a single one who does not like a referral being thrown their way. I remember working in gyms that I worked over the years. I would sell a membership to one person, and they would weeks later or months later, maybe even the next day, they would come to me and say, or call me and say, hey, Dre, I got a friend who wants to join the gym, or my wife wants to join the gym, or I'm going to bring somebody with me who wants to join the gym. Do I just give them your number? Do I bring them in with me? Or can I just give you their number and you can call them? You can sign them up right now on the phone. I always appreciated that. It was always a good day when I got a sale that I didn't have to work for. That's what a referral is for the most part. A referral is a sale that you don't have to work to generate, or it is not even that hard to close it because the person already comes they come already warmed up because you've been highly recommended by somebody who they already know, like, and trust, even if they have never heard of you. But because of the trust they have for the person who referred them to you, then the sale is a lot easier. And any of you who's in sales or an entrepreneur, you know how much you love referrals. So much so that you probably offer some very handsome bonuses to any of your current customers or clients who bring you referrals. And if you are running a business and you don't offer bonuses to your clients and customers who bring you referrals, that might be one of the reasons why you're not getting too many of them. And I would suggest that you start doing that like yesterday, because they will refer when they get something for it. I already told you this in business. People will do something and then they're going to get something in exchange. If they don't think they're going to get anything, then they are not just loath to do it necessarily, but they're going to be lazy about doing it, because what do they gain? Human beings are driven by self-interest, ladies and gentlemen. So you should have a system for getting referrals. I already told you, I already referenced this twice in this series, that I joined a coaching program. They had a healthy referral bonus, and my friend was already in the program, but I hadn't spoken to this friend in so long that they didn't tell me when they joined the program. Therefore, they missed out on the referral bonus. And it was a very nice referral bonus. So you should have referral bonuses, and you should be willing to give generously for anyone who brings you a referral. I know people business-wise, and not so much in the high ticket space, but definitely in the lower ticket stuff, who will give a referral of 100%. And what does it mean to give a referral of 100%? I'll explain it so you all understand. I'll give you two examples here. So first of all, my guy, Jacob, used to have, back in the day when I was doing basketball training programs and my audience was mostly 99% basketball players, I had training programs that I sold, teaching people how to play on the court. I came across a guy named Jacob. He had a program that taught people how to jump higher. That was the main thing he did, teach people how to jump higher. And he was really good at selling his stuff. Jacob was doing sales funnels and stuff before I even knew what a sales funnel was. And he offered, his program was like $67, something like that. That's how much his jump higher program was. And it was perfectly symbiotic to what I was selling. So I was teaching basketball players how to dribble, shoot, and do moves. He was teaching them how to jump higher so they could dunk. So it was a perfect combination. His customers needed my products, and my customers needed his product. So I reached out to him, and he already had an affiliate program set up. His affiliate program was set up such that he offered a 75% commission on anyone who brought him a new customer. What that means is if someone bought his product for $67 or whatever the price was, the referral commission was, that means the money that you kept for bringing him a customer, was $50.25. He would only keep, the difference between that was the $16.75. So if I brought a customer from my world and said, hey, go buy this jump higher program from Jacob, and they would use a link that was connected to me, the commission that I got, the customer, one of my customers goes and buys Jacob's product for $75. I got $50.25. Jacob only got $16.75. Now you may be wondering, why the hell would Jacob only keep $16.75 of a sale of his own product and give you, Dre, $50? Why would he do that? The reason he did it is because he didn't have to do any work for the customer. He did absolutely zero work. I did all the work. I gathered the customer. I built the relationship. I am the one who got them to buy something from me in the first place. And I'm the one who sent them over to his stuff. So he didn't have to do anything. All he had to do was just sit there, and customers are coming to him because he had affiliates. This is known as affiliate marketing. Affiliates like me were sending our customers to buy his stuff. He had to do no work, and he collected $16.75. Let me ask you a question. How would you like to collect $16.75 for doing absolutely nothing? Like, I mean, literally nothing. That's what he was doing. And when I met Jacob, he was traveling the world. He was traveling all different types of places. Every time I talked to him, he was living on a different continent, not country, continent. He was on a different continent traveling the world because he had a whole bunch of affiliates. I was not the only one. He had a whole bunch of people like me selling his product for him, and all he did was collect $16.75 every time a sale was made, doing absolutely nothing. And I liked it because I was collecting $50 every time somebody bought his product. And guess what? I didn't have to do anything as far as the fulfillment or making sure the product worked or the customer service. Now, he had to do that. He had to do the customer service, fulfillment, any issues, he had to deal with that. But other than that, he wasn't doing too much work. And this is why joint ventures work so well. And Jacob and I have done many joint ventures over the years, even past that, and are still friends to this day. He's no longer doing the jump thing as his main thing, and I'm no longer doing basketball, but we are still connected because we both continue to evolve in business. The point is, that's a form of a referral. That's a referral. And I'm bringing that all up to say he was willing to give 75% of the money he made off a sale because he so much appreciated the referral, because he understood the value of, let me just collect a piece of this and I get 100 people. Imagine if you had 100 people selling your product for you every day. So let's just imagine, let's just do some math. Let's just say someone like Jacob, and I'm pulling up my calculator. All right. So let's just say someone like Jacob, he is making the $16.75 per sale. And let's say he has 100 affiliates like me. And let's say every day, 25 of us make a sale. So 25 people make a sale. That is for Jacob, $418.75. That's how much he made that day doing nothing. And let's multiply that by 30 days a month. Over the course of a month, he's making $12,562.50. That's doing no sales work, no marketing work. That's having, of his 100 affiliates, 25 out of the 100 make one sale each day, whichever ones of the 100 there are. 25 of us make one sale each day. He would make $12,000 a month just in his affiliate keep. And that's given away. That's not even talking, because each one of these 12,562, he's giving away $50.25. So we'll take those 25 sales a day, multiply that by 30 days a month. That's 750 sales. And multiply that by $50.25. His affiliates earned $37,687.50 over the course of the month. So this is 50 grand that's getting made. 37,000 of that 50,000 is going out to the affiliates. He's keeping 12,000. Now, again, you may be thinking, if you're Jacob, like, damn, I'm giving away 3/4 of my money. Maybe I can make $50,000 a month if I did all the sales myself. Well, the problem is he would have to do a whole lot of selling. He would have to build a whole audience, and he would have to build the know, like, and trust factors with his customers, which is not as easy as it sounds. It's much easier to do it this way. This is a form of a referral. This is why you should offer referrals. I know another guy. He does a challenge in his business. His challenge has a $100 fee. To join the challenge is like a 5-day challenge. You got to pay $100 to join the challenge. He offers his affiliates a 100% commission, which means every person who, let's say I send somebody to his challenge to join and they pay $100. I tell you about the challenge. You go pay $100 to join that guy's challenge. I get all $100, all of it. I get all the money. Now, this may have you perplexed. You understand the Jacob one, the equation I just gave you. Why the hell would someone give me all the money? Now they make zero. Why would they give me all the money? I'll tell you why they give me all the money. Because that person is selling more stuff on the back end of the challenge. And even though they gave away all the money up front to me, that's just the front end money. What about the money they make on the back end? What if they sell a course for $997? What if they sell a software package for another $2,000, another $3,000? What if they sell a coaching program for $20,000? Well, okay, let's add that up. Let's do the math. Let's do the math here. And for whatever reason, I'm looking on my iPad and I have a calculator app on here and he's pulling ads on me. All right, so let's say that they have for one customer, let's just say one customer, they have a $297 product that they sell up front. Then they sell a $3,000 something else, a higher level course right there. And then they sell a $20,000 coaching program. They just made $23,297 off that one customer. I made $100. Do you understand why this makes sense for them to give away the $100? And understand that every person that spends $100 is not necessarily going to buy any of the additional things that are sold, but that person who paid $100 is now on their email list, they're in their ecosystem, and they just experienced 5 days of value from that person, which builds what? The know, like, and trust factors. So you see how all these things can factor in when you're running a business. These are all the things you need to understand, and you need to be finding ways to make these work. And these are forms of referrals. And when I thought of this point, I was thinking on a more simple level, like, hey, Mike, hey, here's Lisa over here. She needs to buy what you're selling. Maybe she can become your customer. And I introduce Lisa to Mike. Mike makes a sale. He thanks me and gives me something for it in exchange for me giving him a warm lead, throwing him a bone, basically an easy sale. So when someone gives me a referral, they're handing me a new customer or a new client and it's on a platter. I didn't have to do any work, any marketing. I didn't have to spend any money to get that person's attention. Do you understand how valuable that is? If you do not, rewind everything I just said over the last 10 minutes so that you do understand it. The better you are at identifying and helping people by giving them referrals or even giving them a prospect, maybe someone they might not buy, but they're possibly interested. The more people will appreciate the effort that you put into that, and that you had to be thinking about them to even recommend them someone in the first place. So many of the business tools and softwares that I use, as a matter of fact, nearly all of them have some form of referral program, because even big companies understand the value of getting new customers so they didn't have to go and find on their own. So softwares that I use, almost every software I use, there's some form of referral program. And even sometimes when I sign up for software and I don't see any mention of a referral program, I will reach out to the person who runs it and says, hey, person who runs this company, do you have a referral program? Because I have a bunch of people who I want to send to use your software because I like it so much, and I know a bunch of people who need it. And they'll say, oh yeah, no, give me a link. I've had that happen multiple times. Then I just save that link. And then if I want to refer that program, I just give people the link. So you need to understand this value, folks. And make sure that your business colleagues know what you offer and who you help and how you help them, so that if they come across someone who might be good for you, they'll let you know about it. And same thing with you and your clients, and not your clients, but your peers. Point number 15 rather. And we are on part 5 of our series on how to build relationships in business. Number 15, look to create joint ventures. So I just gave you a couple examples of a joint venture. I gave you one example of a joint venture, which was working with my guy Jacob when we did other things. Like we did a launch. What a launch is, for those who don't know sales parlance, a launch is like when you do one big sale of a particular product or a bundle of like a big offering, which can be multiple products together, and you get this and you get this and you get this, and we put it all out and we offer it for a short period of time. There's urgency because it ends, and there's a special pricing, and we build up momentum, we build up anticipation, and we launch it, and then a bunch of people make a bunch of purchases all at the same time, and the people who run the launch make a whole bunch of money in a short period of time, all in one bulk. That's called a launch. So I've done those with multiple people. You can do them all in your own business. You don't have to have other people involved. You can have affiliates for your launches. I know other authors who will put a book out and they'll have affiliates do the marketing of the book to get people to go buy the book. They'll give a very healthy referral bonus for anybody who buys a book, and they'll give a prize to whoever the best affiliate is. I've seen authors do this all the time. I've seen Russell Brunson, for example. He has done this with a few of his books. So he has a leaderboard. Here are the best affiliates, people who have sent the most customers to me over the last 3 weeks. Whoever sends the most customers is going to get this prize, and they'll give away a prize. They'll give away an iPad or give away something like that, a nice prize in exchange for whoever the best affiliate is. And you might be wondering, well, how can they afford to give away an iPad? iPad might be $1,500. They want to give that away because of the value of the customer long-term, the lifetime value of the customer, not the money that they make from selling a copy of a book. Even if you sell thousands of books, it's the upsells and the things you sell on the back end that people don't even see. That's where it makes sense. So joint ventures are a way to do this. So a joint venture is simply a business project you do with another entity or multiple entities. And the value of the joint venture is that you and whomever else you're working with all bring something different to the table that makes the job easier for everybody, because you're working collectively as a group. One simple thing you can bring to the table is if you have an audience. If you have an audience and you have customers, they will be interested in whatever you're selling in your joint venture. So a joint venture rather is a form of the mastermind. It's done specifically for a business and profit purpose. And they can be short-term, they can be one-off projects, they can be long-term ongoing projects. I, for example, have multiple joint ventures going with some business people who I've met in my travel, like ongoing, they're happening right now. And I'm always looking to do more joint ventures because I've gotten smarter about what I am good at versus what I'm not good at. So I know where I can add value and also where it doesn't make sense for me to get involved. And because I understand that there are people out there who can do certain things at a much higher level than I do them, and they can do them a lot faster and more effectively than me, then it makes sense for me to do joint ventures because I can help them with something, and they can help me with something. So I can fire myself from certain jobs, and the joint ventures do things that I don't need to do. And at the same time, I can bring my value to others and be that same person for them. And a simple joint venture, just a simple way of doing it, is what I already told you, like with my guy Jacob, just exchanging customers. When you have products that are symbiotic. So people who want to learn how to play basketball also want to be able to jump higher. So all his jump higher fans want to learn basketball skills, and all my basketball skills fans want to learn how to jump higher. So it was a perfect partnership between himself and myself. You need to think about with what you offer, who is someone who's offering something that is not competing, but actually complementary to what you offer, and see how you can build a relationship with them to where a joint venture can happen and everybody wins. The customers win, theirs and yours, you win, and they win. These are things you need to think strategically about in business. And when you're a member of Work on Your Game University, I will help you map this out, and I will help you find the people, and I will help you reach out to them, contact them, structure your offer, and get it out there. All that said, let's recap today's class. Was part 5 of our series, how to build relationships in business. Number 13, adapt to communication styles. Silent communicator knows how to read the room and adjust as necessary with your speaking and also your listening. Number 14, provide referrals. People love referrals because it is a warm body customer, or at least a prospect who you didn't have to do any work to find. And if someone's offering you a referral as a salesperson, make sure you're giving very healthy and generous bonuses for referrals, because it's easy money that you didn't have to work for. Number 15, look to create joint ventures. Joint ventures is a business partnership where people are working together short-term or long-term. Look for people who can complement what you do and you can complement what they do. Find those people, work with them, have as many of them going as possible, because again, that's money you can make in synergistic ways that don't require you to do all the work by yourself, which is not the way you want to do things anyway, because you only have a certain amount of time and you only have a certain amount of talent. All that said, workonyourgameuniversity.com. If you like what I explained here, you want to learn how to start using this in your own business, how you can start applying it immediately, I will work with you directly on how to do it. I'll show you where, when to do it, what to do, and help you put the whole thing together with my direct help all through the process. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre, all